Hello, Mike Ritsema here with i3 Business Solutions, talking about cybersecurity technology and specifically in the context of business controls, technical, financial, and physical controls. This will be about a 15 to 20-minute presentation, so I think it's worth the time, though. And why do we care? In business, we're interested in four things: executives, owners, managers, looking for four things. How can I differentiate myself from the competition, this organization? We want to maintain sustainability or profitability to grow the business, reinvest in the business. Thirdly, productivity, that is efficiency. The only reason to use technology is for efficiency and productivity improvements. But more importantly, maybe most importantly in an organization is risk management. And we talk about that in the form of physical, financial, and technological risk. That's what we'll be talking about today. So what is cybersecurity? It is the body of technologies, processes, practices. Give me a break. Cybersecurity is about managing technology risk. That's what it is. And for most organizations, it's a cost center. I mean, physical risk, cameras, et cetera, financial risk, insurance. These are cost centers that we spend money on, risk management. So the gap between the number of breaches seen by small and large business is shrunk. I mean, the UPS events, the Colonial Pipeline, Target, I mean, those are big events. And when big hospitals are hit, et cetera, these are big events. But all organizations are being targeted by financially motivated crime actors. And why is that? I mean, they're no longer going after a $500 transaction on a credit card. And big organizations can have good protections. They may have million, $5 million, $10 million ransomware payments. But if I can go after a small organization that's poorly protected and get $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, that's worth my time. I'm not going after credit cards. I'll leave the big guys, the complicated ones alone. I'm going to go after the easy, low-hanging fruit in a small business. So 46% of small businesses have been targeted by ransomware, and 73% have paid the ransom. And the average cost to small businesses, organizations is $200,000. So new ransomware attack happens every 11 seconds. This is real stuff. And what is the evolution of for-profit hacking? I mean, it started with viruses and malware and then spam and then going after personal information and selling it online. But now we're up to the point of hacker for hire sites, and we're up to ransomware as a service. What does this mean? And I want you to picture an office building as in downtown your city, USA, with 100 people in it. And they're sitting at computers with phones and they're working the social media. They're going after ransomware in the great capitalist America where the money is. And they're doing this as a service to educate small businesses and companies to the vulnerability, the risk in their organization. They would consider it ethical to encrypt everything in your organization and then charge you a fee, a small fee, only $100,000 or $200,000 to tell you how you did it and how you can further protect yourself. Ethical hackers who recently attacked a children's hospital, and the tool provider provided the decryption tools because it's against their ethics and values to target children. So ransomware is a service where you can actually go out and find the tools. You can start this business tomorrow. Go on the dark web, download the tools to start your ransomware as a service business. And that's what's happening across the world. And you can pay for this on a monthly basis, much like many of the services we use in America today. Hacker for hire sites, as in this example from Krebs on security. Why malware crypting services deserve more scrutiny. Ransomware as a service toolkit to make it easier. The bold here, cyber crooks will outsource this critical function to a handful of trusted third parties on the dark web. This is a business. You can buy the tools, go in business tomorrow. It's spreading across the world, China, North Korea, Russia, easier and easier, and they're targeting small businesses that are vulnerable. We're going to talk about how to protect that. The cybersecurity framework that we use at i3 Business Solutions is based on the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which builds a framework, a nationwide public framework that starts with identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. This is implemented at i3 through the Center for Internet Security version 8 controls. And 172 line items on a spreadsheet with 18 cybersecurity control categories broken down into 153 safeguards, checklist of safeguards. Are you overwhelmed? I certainly am. As a small business owner, I have to protect things physically, financially, and technically. And so figuring out how to do this is complicated. Let's talk about business controls. Physical controls, much like your house or your business. We look at doors, windows, locks, and a fence protects an organization. That's where we lived in technology for years and years. So we've got antivirus, we've got firewalls, we protect the organization. And then at our homes, we might have an alarm, a motion detector, a monitoring camera to detect movement. But what good is that? I recorded the fact they broke into my garage and stole a bunch of stuff out of my garage. We need to respond. So we might have a dog that barks. We might have a gun we'll head out there with. The alarm system might automatically call the police who roll up to see what's going on. So protection, detection, and response physically at home or at our business is a means of controlling the organization. Same thing with technology. We've moved past firewalls and antivirus to detecting, whoa, something's going on in this network, in this PC, in this server, and then immediately responding to that. Protection, detection, response. Same is true financially. Now, we look at controls technically, we think that we just buy more technology, we fix the problem. No, the problem is the humans. It's you and me. They're targeting me, especially. I just asked my son about an email I just got. It's clearly a phishing email. He said, no, I'm not getting those. I think they're targeting me. Business email compromise costs billions every year. And you know this, you're hearing about it, and so are we, that the email came in, we changed the routing and the checking account number and sent out $120,000 to the wrong account. Business email compromise is costing it's over $30 billion a year now. It's gone up like a rocket ship. And that's due to social engineering. How does that work? Well, social engineering, spear phishing, whale phishing is the method that works. And that is, I'm going to go on Facebook. Oh, I found you on Facebook. I'm going to Google you. I'm going to go to LinkedIn. Oh, on LinkedIn, you're the CFO of the organization. I'll go to your website. There's a picture of you, more information about you. So I've just in 5 to 10 minutes in North Korea, China, or Russia, done the research to know who I'm targeting so that I can go to work and try and move that money. So password links, millions and billions of passwords on the dark web. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But business email compromise using social engineering, and that is identify the target, start grooming them, and especially if I can get into your email, oh boy, I can sit there for a week or 2 or 3 and see who you're emailing, or you're emailing the bank, you're emailing vendors, you're emailing clients. Who do I want to spoof? And then I start exchanging information with that individual. I create a rule to move that email into a different folder. So even though I'm working on the email, but the threat actor in North Korea is also in that email account, and they move the reply emails to a different folder automatically. I don't know that's happening. And then they request the change of the routing number or the checking account number, and the money moves to the wrong account. Business email compromise, social engineering, spear phishing, whale phishing, and ChatGPT is helping the threat actors also, because you're seeing that the emails are getting better and better. It used to be look for grammatical errors. Oh boy, ChatGPT is wiping that out. The graphics are getting better. It's tougher and tougher to find this information. We have to be paranoid and vigilant as we deal with this. Here's an example I received just last week, and we're all doing more online approvals, but a DocSend came to me, i3 Business Solutions, please approve this. I'm like, number one, I don't know who this is, but number two, I don't know I need to approve a doc. I delete it. I know that if somebody needs a document approved, they'll call me or I'll call them. If I look at this and say, well, I know that person and I know that organization, but I don't know of the document I need to approve, delete, phone call, please confirm this. And you're seeing it also, text messages coming in. Bob from around the corner walked over a couple weeks ago and said, did you send this text? And it's pretty obvious, no, I didn't, but sure has my name on it. And we're getting them from the United States Postal Service. We're getting them from Amazon. We're getting them from FedEx. No, we do not click on any links in text messages or emails. We know how to log into Amazon. We know how to log into FedEx. We know how to log into credit card accounts, into bank accounts. We know who to call. We don't call a phone number in a text message. We go to the website for our credit card company and we call them up from that number, or we log in and check our account. Oh, you have a transaction, click here to approve it. No, I'll log into my credit card account number and look for the transaction right there. So we do not respond, make phone calls, or send emails to anything in a text or an email request like that, because we know how to access these people either through our known websites and logins or through our CRM system. Paranoid and vigilant is the key here. And the key, according to Microsoft, is multi-factor authentication prevents 99.9% of business email compromise. Please confirm MFAs on for every email user in your business. I recommend it for your personal email. I recommend it for online software accounts too, certainly credit card accounts, for banking accounts, for anything, well, Facebook, etc. Turn it on if you can. Multi-factor authentication protects 99.9. It's a given. Please, that's number one on the list for protecting your organization from business email compromise. Beware of MFA fatigue. At i3, we used to use push notifications. Oh, I logged in from a new browser. Pops up on my phone. Did you log in? Yes, I did. Very convenient. Easier than pumping in 6 numbers, opening an app, and so on. And a problem because MFA fatigue started showing up over a year ago, and that is the threat actors, if they get your password, they log in remotely. And you're thinking, did I log in on a tablet, a new browser, on my phone, a different part of the app? And you say no, and it pops up again. And you say no, and it pops up again. It's like, okay, criminy, yes, go away, leave me alone. We just let somebody from the other side of the world log into our email. MFA fatigue, no push notifications from i3 Business Solutions or our clients. Turn it off. I want to talk a minute about data responsibility. Who owns the risk of the organization? We talk about business controls, that's physical, financial, and technological controls. Who owns the control? Well, in the case of technology, the information technology team is the custodians or the stewards. You, the IT person, we, the IT provider, we're the custodians, the stewards of the information, of the data. We make recommendations. The owner is the business owner, the executive, or the management team. They own the risk of the organization. They make the decision on how much money to spend on security cameras, automatic detection, calling the security organization, on how much risk protection to spend on cybersecurity. So just want to clarify that. And when it comes to controls and technology security, we have layers of protection, and there's many layers. And certainly it starts with cloud DNS up in the firewall or up in the cloud saying, you thought you clicked on FedEx, wrong. That's a spoofing site. We're not even going to let you go to that site. The firewall protecting the network, patching, one of the most fundamental things is oftentimes breached today. That is, oh, that server hasn't been patched in 3 months. We just logged into that server through a known vulnerability. Patching, one of the most fundamental things we've been doing for 10 to 20 years, is now showing up as a new risk. Moving from antivirus to endpoint, detection response to the next generation antivirus. And that is not just protection, but we detect something's wrong, we react immediately, take that PC, take that server off the network, quarantine it. This technology is now available. Internal policies, we're going to talk a little bit more about. Air-gapped backups with different logins and offline, a high priority, maybe the most important, having a backup so that if I am encrypted, I can go to my backup. No, here's what's more important is the human firewall. We're the problem. The humans are the problem. And I said before, okay, multi-factor, that's the most important thing. Layers of protection to manage our risk. And finally, cybersecurity insurance and the controls we're talking about right now. So layers of protection is the way we mitigate our cybersecurity risk. So when I talk about cybersecurity controls in green here, kind of an ugly slide, but financial controls in yellow here, we think we can just apply technology controls and protect the organization. No, it's more than that. What does it look like? Well, okay, multi-factor authentication for email and software as a service. I'm going to tell you a story. I was sitting down with a client and he mentioned that a friend of his he knows or an acquaintance moved $140,000 to the wrong account. And how did that happen? And I told this client, a smaller organization with 10 users that had not turned on MFA despite our multiple recommendations and pleading with them. The way that happened, I said, imagine that you were hacked and you sent an email to one of your clients. That is, the threat actors from China sent the email to one of your clients saying, hey, we changed our checking account number and our routing number. Change it and send the 140,000 to this new account. Imagine that email came from you and they sent that $140,000 to the wrong account. How would you feel about that? They requested multi-factor authentication the next day. And that's the way these things happen. I can be targeted by one of my clients or vendors or partners because they were breached and they send the email to me. So, I can have multi-factor authentication on. It doesn't protect me from spear phishing from somebody that I know that's been breached. Phish testing and education of your team, please do that. We offer that service. We recommend it. We have to educate the human firewall. Endpoint detection and response, the next generation of antivirus protects if an incident occurs. Review your risk via layers of security. Looks like an assessment, recommended every year or two at a minimum to say, are we doing the right things? Because technology marches on and new threats occur. ChatGPT being one of them. Oh my gosh, we just empowered 7.5 billion people with automation. Look out. Password and permission review of what we call privileged access management. Who has admin permission? What are the passwords? Are they complex enough? How often are they changed? Do we have multi-factor in place where necessary? So then we get to financial controls, and certainly ACH debit block is a given, and positive pay. These are financial controls. And then I call it two-factor, two-person confirmation of any changes that occur to the ACH debit block, to any payroll or routing checking number changes are going to have two-factor. I send an email to my internal finance person saying, hey, change this credit card to this. She's going to pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, did you send this email? Do you want this changed? That conversation occurring, hearing my voice, walking down the hall, I implore you to put in two-factor confirmation for any change to payroll accounts, to any checking, routing, credit card accounts are going to require a conversation, not just an email or a text. And then cybersecurity insurance as another layer. We recently had a client of ours that called us in and they said, man, we almost changed an account number and sent money to the wrong account, except that the person came to confirm it with me and I questioned it and we caught it. We did not send that money. I'm like, that's perfect. Your controls, your financial controls worked. And again, if one of my vendors or clients is breached and sends an email to me, I can't stop that. There's no way in the world to stop that. But I can have internal controls in place to assure that mistakes are not made in my organization. And that's why we're having this conversation today. So I implore you, technology marches on. Mitigate your business risk with not only physical controls, not only technological cybersecurity controls, but with financial controls also. Mike Ritsema, i3 Business Solutions. You can call me, you can email me at any of the numbers shown on the screen here.